Hello, everybody. Good morning. I'm almost on the shot. Hi there. Good morning. Today's Thursday, 2nd of March, 2023. Thanks for joining me on this lovely morning. It is 60, I forget, 68, I think it said on the Weather Channel app. Um, I think the Nature Princess is doing a lot better. I keep asking, they keep telling me she's still taking the medicines. They say 10 days. I think that may be a little bit too excessive. I think 8 should be more than fine. Um, I would say 5, but I'd want to make sure that the infection is all the way out of her system, so that it does not spread towards other people. I have eaten a little bit after her, and like when we both hug mom together, like our face come close to close. So I'm flirting with the chance. I'm trying to see how well my immune system is to not contract the streptococcus, what it's called. Um, Obviously, I'm in a disadvantage because of this. I don't know how this affects the immune system. I take medications. I don't know how those affect the immune system. But throughout my whole life, for the majority part of it, I've been alive for 50 years, 60 now, I think almost. I forget my age. And I must have gotten a cold a handful of times at the most. I never got a flu shot. I always just thought that, what's the point? You know, if your child is healthy and like socially, and what I consider being socially healthy is having friends with whom they can, you know, spend face to face time, not FaceTime, face to face time together, go outside, play in the sun. I tried to tell my queen the other day who wasn't feeling well, I'm like, why don't you go sit in the sun for like 5 minutes, see how you feel? Because it actually, in my opinion, it almost has like healing properties of its own. It may not heal anything, but it actually makes you kind of like feel good a little bit because I guess maybe it releases endorphins or whatever those things are called. Just receiving and it also gives you vitamin D, so that can be a negative. And so she's almost getting better. Technically today she would be on it would be day number 7 because she started on a Friday and she didn't. Yeah. And today's Thursday. I know they were selling Shamrocks all week to raise money for March of Dimes, and it just so happened that it was funny that the donations that they suggested donations for children to bring were $1 for a Shamrock. I guess you write your name on it, and $5 for a star, which is a quick segue. That's also my Patreon. Someone's having fun out there. I hope that's at least a nice small sports car, not just a car with like a loud muffler. People think that, I mean, don't get me wrong, that human life is more important than, the way we express ourselves and the cultures that we cultivate. But, a human as an individual is different than a humans as a collective. But because you meet one person, like George Carlin said it best, I believe his name was, people, he loves people, but as one at a time. He can talk to a person, he can see in their eyes, like almost like look inside their souls, get to know something about them, you know, and he finds that a beautiful thing. But now when it's like a collective, like a mass of people, they all start like, like almost like For instance, January 6th of, was it 2 years ago now? 2021? That's an example of a collective mass of people. Which, what did they accomplish? Some of them went to jail. Some of them might have gotten, suffered minor injuries. They caused, um, destructive properties towards the Capitol building, which had to be rebuilt. And thank goodness that we live in a country where if something needs to be done, if something needs to be prioritized, it is done so right away. Which brings to mind another thing about priorities. Yesterday, I was doing the shopping at the Publix by my house, where they have a pharmacy, and I went up to the pharmacy out of curiosity, and it was two ladies. I don't like lady pharmacies because they're sexist. I'll be straight up and say it. I haven't met a lady pharmacy that treats a male patient as if he was her equal. And I'm guessing this might have had to do, this may have something had to do to their schooling. Maybe while they were in schooling, they were treated like lesser than. Therefore, later in life, they just passed on the same sentiment that was expressed towards them while they were in school. So nonetheless, I went up to the pharmacy. There was two ladies behind the counter. Obviously, one looked like a tech. I could tell by the way she was dressed, and the other one looked like a pharmacist. And I said, "Oh, who's the head pharmacist here?" And the lady goes, "Oh, that would be me." I said, "Do you see a lot of MAT patients here?" She's like, "MAT?" I'm like, "Yes, medically assisted treatment patient." Or might have said just medically assisted first. And then I said, "MAT patient." She's like, "No." So, okay, that's fine. You know, I may have to, I'm gonna see if I can maybe sign up down the road if it's, more affordable. The tier, the levels of the medications are the same, and also because this was a independently owned pharmacist, but his did so well, he got bought out by a company based out of New York, I believe, or either their customer service is based out of New York. When that happened, that was like the most terrible thing that could have happened, because he had, prices that were just as good as CVS, if not better. But the difference was that they knew you, they treated you like family. Instead of waiting 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, your prescription will be done in 5, 10 minutes, literally. And my pharmacist, he's a nice guy. He's worked with me a lot. He knows my situation. He's helped me out. But for instance, it just happened earlier this week. Because yesterday was the last day of my medication. But I don't want to wait till yesterday to pick it up. I suffer from anxiety. And especially now, I'm suffering from a PTSD because of the fact of what happened in December. The CVS filled my script on November. I go back to the same place, same staff. They wouldn't want to fill it for me on on December, and I ran out of meds. Now these are meds that my body, even though I may not be addicted, my body is physically dependent on them, meaning that even if I were to stop cold turkey, I would have to face withdrawal symptoms, the same as if someone who is addicted to, you know, like heroin or alcohol. So I waited patiently because I didn't have any reason not to. Last month they did a great job, but then this month for some reason I called. They even called me for corporate, asking if I wanted to file a formal complaint against the pharmacist. I chose not to because my wife goes to that pharmacy, and knowing them, if I would have filed a formal complaint, they would have looked at her, they would have seen that it's the same address as the person who filed a formal complaint, and they would have started giving her problems. So instead of solving the problem, I would have just been adding fuel to the fire. So I said, just let it be, so she can get hers uninterrupted, because if I suffer from anxiety, she suffers from it times 10. If something happens that doesn't go her way, it's like, it's, put it this way, it's better than any TV show you see on TV if you're looking from the outside. If you're participating in it, but nonetheless, she's been getting hers, relatively well. Now, here's the thing. Controlled substances, I know by law, you're only allowed to pick them up 2 days earlier. That way in case you can pick them up right before they run out. And I waited at the CVS in December, literally till the day that they ran out. I turned it in on a Thursday, was going to pick it up on a Monday. That was 5 days time. You're telling me in 5 days time you cannot get two separate prescriptions to have ready for a patient who needs them, because if they don't have them, they can't function. I can't work, I can't parent, I could barely take care of myself. And, that's just, they don't care about you. And that's the problem with these big chains, like, these national chains, conglomerates, as some people call them. They only care about numbers. To them, you're just a number that can make their numbers look better. And when their numbers look better, they do better. I don't know if that's a company that's publicly traded. I would imagine so. And because of that, that's what motivates them. Not customer care, not customer satisfaction, not the need to care for patients. No, what motivates them is the need to keep outperforming the previous quarter. That way, if it is a publicly shared company, they can say to their shareholders, or how some companies are trying to label it now, stakeholders. They're doing everything they can to separate us from decision-making processes, or just from keeping us in the loop, even if we buy shares from companies. It's ridiculous. This government eventually is going to go into anarchy. It's pretty much unpredictable, unless we have some type of new type of policies and governing that takes place. But at the rate that it's going, yes, people are kind of like, they're brainwashed, because we have, like, what I'm talking into right now, something that I can just press an on button, I can release, and after that I can just go on about my merry way. People at home, they have devices that they can just press an on button. They can watch stuff that's completely irrelevant. They can watch programming, which I always said is called programming for a reason. It's to program you, to make you somebody that is, will follow, obey, and don't ask questions. But now that I just said that out loud, it kind of made me think. Perhaps the insurrection on January 6, 2021 was a good thing, because it got people up and it got them to, do something about something that they were unhappy with, albeit it was something that was completely stupid, because it was undermining our democracy. But anyways, I've spoken a lot. If I have any viewers from where I live, which is in South Florida, more specifically Broward County, that knows of a pharmacy that is friendly towards patients who seriously take their medication assisted treatment, and, you know, treat their patients with respect, with empathy, and as individuals who really are, you know, sick, because mental health is a health issue. It's not something that's made up in the mind. There might be other ways to deal with it, but for right now, this has worked for me. And I've always said, if it's not broken, why fix it? So, with that being said, thank you again. I know I had made a slogan a little while ago. I'll say it this morning just for fun. Nothing to see here. Thank you for watching. May you have a blessed Thursday. May today be the best day of your life. Be kind to one another. And thanks for watching.